I want to welcome you to the Contracting Navigator module. This is course number 7 inside of the Fire Alarm Business Blueprint. What we're going to learn today is how we can navigate the government contracts, learn how to write proposals so you can win your first government contract. So this is the Navigator game plan. This is our cheat sheet. This gives you the 3 steps that you can take and actually follow to learn how to find jobs, write your proposals, and what you need to do in order to acquire these bid packages. So the Fire Alarm Business Blueprint, this is step number 7 inside of this full program course that's going to show you how to actually operate a fire alarm system, make money within this business because it's difficult to compete with these larger companies. So there's a couple things that you would need to do inside of your business to give you the edge so that way you can compete on these $1 million jobs, these $10 million projects. So my name is Anthony Richardson. I started out about 25 years ago working with a company called Fire Quench. 2013, I pursued my license. I actually got it in 2017. Since then, I work with a lot of big companies getting certified on panels like Simplex, Edwards, Kitty, Software House, and S2, some security systems. So when I started my business in 2017, jumping out the door just with $1,000 paycheck, thinking I could just run out and get business, but it was very difficult because I didn't have a business mind. I didn't know nothing about business. I was just a very good technician. So 6 months after that, everything went down. Everything started to blow up in my face, and it was hard for me to face the family. So what I started to do was I had to educate myself. I had to find the areas in which I was weak in and build that strength up. So what I did was went to YouTube and figured out how I could actually start becoming a business person. And then one thing I focused on was marketing. Fast forward now, doing a bunch of contracts with the government from private to public sectors. We've grown a network of electrical contractors, general contractors, where we just, share our projects back and forth. If they get something that has fire alarm in it, I'm going to put my price to it. We get the job. We all do the work. So you will also be invited within this network inside of the Fire Alarm Business Blueprint. So you don't have to worry about or stress where you're going to get your first job. We're going to help that first government contract. So how do you get registered to become a government contractor? The first thing, really, you need to have your business form, have an EIN, and you also need to register with the Dun and Bradstreet. You need a DUNS number. Once you register and get a DUNS number, and getting the DUNS number is free, so don't let them, bait you into paying for it. So once you get a DUNS number, you will register with SAM. That's the System for Award Management, sam.gov. It's a lengthy process, just like the certification process for your minority certification. It's a lengthy process where you have to input a lot of information. Once you input that information, then it gets sent up to the IRS, and they're going to verify your tax ID and your business and all the information. And once they do that, you get a unique identifier and also a cage code. Once you get those 2 codes, you are now a government contractor. And then the next step after that is start looking for bids. You could find bids on DIBS, that's DIBBS.gov, and you could also find jobs on SAM.gov. There's a couple avenues you could take to find bids, whether it be federal, municipalities within the city. So don't forget, at the end, you will be able to download this 1-page cheat sheet. This is actually one of the links inside of this module, so you should be able to download it after you've watched this video or download it before the video so that way you can follow along with it. So here is a basic solicitation. So a solicitation from the federal government or any governing body will send a solicitation similar to this. There will also be other documents within that bid package, but essentially this is what the bid package will look like. It'll tell you pretty much the qualifications, what they're looking for. What this here is an actual solicitation. At this point in time right here, this actual document, I was in a process of giving them my final fixed price. So what you're looking at right here is an actual solicitation. This particular paperwork, we were going through the process of me giving them my final firm fixed price before I actually get the PO. Essentially, this is what it would look like in a solicitation package, and also with other documents that's going to give you the information like the scope of work, what you need to do. That's how you are able to come up with your price. So here, they awarded me this job to fix 32 troubles on a fire alarm system. We fix those troubles, we get paid from the federal government. The good thing about this, they do direct deposit. No matter if it's $1, 7 figures, you'll get that direct deposit. What they do is they try to fast track the payment, so you get the payment sometimes 2 weeks right after you complete the job. So once you submit all your paperwork in and they do the final checks and everything is good to go, you get that money right away. So I want you to imagine this. You got all your paperwork. You know where everything is at. You submitted all your paperwork. We went through the process. You got that first solicitation, that request for proposal. You outlined it. You answered it. You got in touch with the contract manager. Y'all built a relationship, a rapport, and then now find out that you was awarded job for $750,000 to install a fire alarm system and you know how much work you would have to do. This system potentially is only 25 devices. So it's not a big system, but you're getting a big number for a big system. And this is how the government actually work. You could be doing a small system and really just get six figures just for showing up, because it's a handful of minority certified vendors that are doing government contracting, especially if you're in a niche field. You can clean up. You can clean up a lot. So winning government contracts actually take time, because you first got to understand what the different types of solicitations are. There's a few different types of solicitations. Answer each one of them differently. Templates and checklists that you can use to help you stay on track when you actually bidding out these projects. So one of the benefits of registering with SAM is you open up the doors to federal contracting, federal funds, which is big money. You could also get federal loans. Once you get registered with your Dun & Bradstreet, you now have a DUNS number. So now that opens you up for business credit. You will start to build business credit using your DUNS number, and you would need at least an 80 paydex score. Now your paydex score is similar to your credit score, but it's for the business. So your credit score has 3 digits and your paydex score, your business credit score, has 2 digits. So it's from 0 to 100, and anything above 80 is excellent credit for business. So one of the ways you want to find some government projects is definitely through SAM, and you can set up alerts so that way you can just get the emails that you actually need on the jobs that you bid on. Now the good thing about working for the government, if you're in New York, no matter what state you're in, you could work across the world government contracting. So if there's a job in India that requires a fire alarm or even a camera system, if you do all of the services when it comes to fire alarm and security, so intrusion, card access, and things like that, whatever it is, and if you can do it, put your price to it, maybe add the travel to it. If they're willing to pay for all of that, yeah, you can do it. You can go to India and put a small fire alarm system in, or put an 8 camera system in, those high quality systems like Axis or something like that. So you can really clean up if you really want to. Let's just say that. You don't have to look for jobs just in the state that you're in. So I'm going to show you how you're going to get your first government contract, from being overwhelmed and frustrated to start winning your first government contract, whether it be the first $1,000 or the first $50,000. So one way I position myself, especially for government, since I'm like a one-man show and I just hire electricians, I know that it's really going to be difficult, because in the beginning I used to do a lot of installs. I still do installs now, but I do it a different way. I'll explain that later. But now when I look for government contracts, the only thing I look for is maintenance and inspections and monitoring. I can do that all day by myself. It's difficult to run a fire alarm project, an install, multiple installs by yourself, but I could do multiple service calls, I could do multiple test and inspections, and I could do multiple monitoring. So I let that build the foundation, and then I work with the electricians that I have to do the installs. But in the beginning, I was looking for installs, but I had to change that. Being that I was a one-man show, I had to figure out that if I'm going to do this right, I know I could do 5 to 6, maybe even 7 service calls a day. So let me look for service work, inspection work, and then monitoring. So that way I can generate the money each month easily. Then from there, as I grow, I can start looking for projects again. So I had to scale it back, do things I could handle so I could get money, bring people in, or just hire electricians to do the installations. So some of the action steps that I need you to take, these 3 steps. You're going to register your business through the government database, sam.gov. We're going to actually go through this step by step in another training video. Then after that, I'm going to show you how you can search for jobs. You search for different bids. Find some fire alarm jobs, install, service, whatever it is, whether it be federal or whether it be local to your city. And lastly, I'm going to show you how you can leverage the PTAC assistants, right? Because these are the professionals. These are the guys who know a lot of the contracting managers out there. So you get familiar with these guys, and they also have their own list that they could put you on to also send you leads. So you have just different avenues of leads coming to you. So I'm going to show you how you're going to register with DMB so that way you can get your DUNS number, right? So this is the first step, right? You want to make sure you have all of your business information. Articles of incorporated if you're an LLC or corporation. If you have a home, you want to have your lease. If you have a virtual business address, you want to have that lease. They're going to want, they're just going to make sure your name and contact information, all your business details, that's what you got to have. Then once you do that, you go to the DMB website. So that'll be dmb.com. And make sure it's a legit, because there's a bunch of them. So make sure you're on the right website. And We're going to go through the same exact process in the other training videos that you're going to see underneath this course, right? So once you go into DMB, fill out that application, everything is free. They're going to be trying to charge you like either $150 or $1,500, something like that to monitor you. But if you want to do that, you can do that, but you don't need to. So now you need a SAM.gov registration if you want to be able to receive payments from the federal government, because what you do is you put your banking information in there so they could directly deposit that money right into your account. So as you start building up your credibility, you'll start winning more contracts because you're going to start to be more trustworthy. So the more work you do, no matter how small it is, the more work you do, the more work you complete. Let me say that. The more work you complete, no matter how small the project is, gives you credibility. So let's go through the steps of how you can register through SAM.gov. Same as the DUNS number, but you're going to need a lot more information when it comes to gathering your paperwork for the SAM. And I'm going to lay out all the paperwork you're going to need in a checklist so that way you can make sure you have each and every one of these. And they're going to verify your tax ID. They're going to make sure the tax ID was registered with the IRS, and they're going to make sure your business name and information is linked to that tax ID. So the IRS is going to verify that. Once they verify that, then you'll get that cage code coming back from SAM.gov. So how do you find government contracts? There's a couple of ways you can find government contracts. Once you get yourself certified as a minority vendor and you register yourself on SAM, the edge is you're on a list. And as you're on that list, solicitations will be sent to the email that's registered on the portal. So you're going to get emails like sources sort notices, requests for proposals, requests for information, requests for quotes. So all of these different types of solicitations you will be receiving, and you have to respond to them, each one differently, so you can actually make way and actually be awarded a particular project, right? So they have a bid solicitation. So a solicitation, let's take an RFP. A request for proposal is them asking you to write a proposal against the series of problems that they have outlined inside of the bid package. So say like if you're reading a bid package, let's say the bid packages have one page, and on that one page, they list 10 things that they want you to pay attention to, or you to fix, or you to install, or you to do these 10 things. You will then take those 10 things, copy them word for word, put them on your proposal, and then answer each one of them, and then a price next to each one, identifying how much it's going to cost for each item, or you lump it up into one lump sum, however you decide to do it. Just make sure the money is enough to actually do the job. So once you understand that, they look at you like, okay, he understands what we're asking to do, and then this is what he's going to do to fix the problem that we have. Price is right, meaning if you got all your I's dotted, all your T's crossed, because it ain't about the price, it's about who's the most responsive and the most responsible. So if you miss a document, you're not that responsible, no matter if your price was right. So you have to make sure you fill out everything, sign everything, get whatever you need notarized. So how do you find government contracts? There's a couple search engines you could use, like SAM.gov, FBO, DIBS. Like these are different places that you can use, and also the local PTAC office, and tell them to put you on a list so you can just start getting alerts straight to your emails. Here's a template of our proposals that we use to respond to a sources sort notice. Now, a sources sort notice, I want to say, is stage one of a solicitation process. Not every bid comes out in the sources sort notice. What they're doing is doing a little bit of market research. They're trying to see how many vendors are out there that could actually bid on this, because they need at least 3 people to bid on any solicitation that they put out there. So they'll put out a sources sort notice, pretty much to test the waters. And what you need to do, so let me give you an example. Let's say if they send a sources sort notice for an Edwards system or Simplex system or any fire alarm system, you know that they need the software program for, because you don't have it, right? So when you write up your sources sort notice, you will put that detailed information inside of the package, stating that, listen, if you don't have the software, it's going to be extra, because the contractor who comes in to fix the fire alarm system will have to recreate it from scratch, download it, test it, and do all these different things. You make it sound extravagant, right? So that way they will take that information, and then when they put out the bid package, they will put that information in there, or they will say, we have the site-specific software, so you don't have to rewrite it. So you pretty much giving them the edge. So when they see your name coming back, because you're going to, once they put the bid out, and then you actually bid on it because they made those changes that you suggested, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get that job. So it's important to respond to the sources sort notice. using our template definitely sway contract manager when they actually put out that bid solicitation. First, they're going to give you a little brief description of who they are, background, and the people that work in the organization, pretty much giving an overall background of the particular company you're about to work with. And then after that is the scope of work, and they try to give you as much detail inside of the scope of work as possible. This is an actual award that I got for $150,000 just to pretty much change out smokes, fix a couple ground faults, change out a few pole stations that was broke, due to, some inmates fighting or whatever it was going on inside the jails, fixing some enunciators, rerouting some things, and installing a few devices. Like, it was literally the most easiest 150 I made ever. So I'm going to show you how you can write proposals that actually win government contracts. So the three key elements to actually win a government contract when you're writing proposals is you want to have brief company introductory and credentials. So right off the jump, you want to clearly explain who you are, what you do, how you do it, and why you're the best at you doing it. Then after that, you want to list your past performances, whoever you work for. It doesn't matter if it's government related or not. And it doesn't matter if you have actual past performances or not. What you can do is partner with someone and then use their information as the past performances. But if you have your own, then you could just list your own past performance, whatever job you did in the past. Even if you was a technician, you could list those as well, because you literally did do it. Probably just didn't do it as a business, but you still did it. And lastly, your price doesn't matter. It's about the most responsive, most responsible. So if they asking you to have a letter notarized, or if you miss a signature, it's over for you. So it's not going to happen. So here's what our template look like. It gives the company overview, explains who we are and what our area of expertise are. These are all the services that we provide. Here's what the past performance page will look like. It'll outline jobs, the contract number, what I did there, and the type of value. And if there's any logos or pictures of those particular jobs, I put those there too. And I also have cleared unapologetic pricing. I used to fight in my mind, this may be too much. No, right now I just put numbers. Not really put numbers. I put the numbers that it's supposed to be. I know how to charge my actual price now. In the beginning, I was afraid to charge my actual price. You got to understand, you are in business to do business. You're not robbing nobody. You're not overcharging nobody. You're not doing anything. The mistake I was making was I was bidding my prices as being that I was a solopreneur. If I'm doing my pricing, I'm only pricing for one technician. So as a business, yes, you do price for the one technician's salary, but you also have to put the business down as well. So the business also have to get paid, not in the profits. That's later on down the road. So the initial visit. So if I send 2 guys, I'm literally sending 3 guys. Let's just say that. So if I send one guy at $40 an hour, the next guy at $40 an hour, the business is the third guy at $40 an hour. You dig? And then on top of that, I'll have the profits, overhead, and all the other stuff. So I got some homework for you, right? You to go quick little challenge, because you already we got the business form. We have our EIN, some bank accounts, and we have some type of accounting system. So now we're going to register with DUNS, this DUNS number, download these proposal templates. You're going to cater it to your business. I don't care if you just take out my name and use everything else. Go right ahead. Make sure you take out all of my name and use all of the other copy that's in there, so that way you could actually present it as if it's you. Just read it, memorize it, and actually know it, so that way when they start questioning you, you know what you're talking about. It's not copy and paste, so actually learn it, right? And I want you to study and stay successful, and just, look at some examples, look at some other people online, especially that's winning government contracting. It doesn't have to be in fire alarm, doesn't have to be in security. It could be plumbing, it could be landscaping, it could be just delivering toilet tissue. Whatever it is, watch how they do it, watch how they bid it, and the mindset and mind frame they be in when they approaching these government contracts. So I want to zoom out a little bit, step back, show you that this is step number 7 inside of the Fire Alarm Business Blueprint, the Contract Navigator. Inside of this whole course, it's going to show you how to register with SAM, how to get a DUNS number, how to get those proposals exactly how you want them in your way, using these templates, and how to send them off, how to respond to them, and actually what you're going to do after you win the bid. So I want to congratulate you for staying all the way to the end, hearing me jat my jibs. Don't forget to download that cheat sheet and also those other templates, so that way you can stay on track, learning how to register with DMB, SAM, understanding the different types of solicitation, and how to write a proposal against each one. All right, so I'll catch you in the next module. Peace.